wanted to thank all of you who sent me such kind birthday wishes. It really meant a lot to me. When I set out to start this YouTube channel, I had no idea that a community would start to form. And it's incredible. I feel like I'm meeting up with friends every week, and I love our conversations. And I'm hoping that you feel the same way. This has been one of the most rewarding projects I've ever done. So thank you so much for being involved. I don't think my birthday could have been any more perfect. The first thing I did was to set out to the LA flower market. I thought there should be a lot of flowers in the house on my birthday. Honestly, I feel like there should be a lot of flowers in the house every day. But strangely, that morning, there were no flowers. So I went over. I was solo because, unlike me, Brennan wasn't able to take the day off from work. So I just went in, looked around. The first thing I got were these stems. I've had my eye on them for the past few weeks, but I finally got them. I don't know what they're called, but I just like how they look like woodland. And I thought that would be so nice to have in the house. And I think they look particularly great with these innocent looking phlox flowers. I've never had phlox before, but I just love what they do to any arrangement. And of course, I couldn't resist these incredibly dramatic, flamboyant parrot tulips. Thankfully, it was a cool, overcast morning, so I left all of these flowers in a bucket of water in the footwell of my car while I went for a run in Elysian Park. This is maybe my favorite place in all of Los Angeles, and I try to go here whenever I can. I love these secluded, wooded areas. And I also checked on these patches of wildflower that dot along the paths of Elysian. When I got home, I put all the flowers together, and it felt so luxurious to have the rest of the day to just do whatever I wanted to do. That rarely happens. And then Brennan came by in the early afternoon to surprise me with this bouquet of flowers. Then I realized one of the reasons why he didn't come with me to the flower market is because he had already ordered this bouquet from this cool flower shop in Silver Lake called Gillies. Or Jillies, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. And it's stunning. I love the way these snowball-shaped dahlia speak to the innocent phlox flowers. And this little spray of orchid reaching up, and pink sweet pea filling in. It's just the most perfect arrangement, and the colors work together perfectly. And then with this surprise bouquet, I started opening up some birthday gifts. I was truly spoiled this year. And I'm going to show you a lot of the gifts that I received, and also some gifts that I bought for myself. But I'm going to spread them out. I wanted to show you this pair of headphones that Brennan got for me. The headphones are from Sennheiser. And these are to replace my old pair of headphones that my pug dog Larry decided was a chew toy multiple times. I don't blame him. He was a very silly puppy. He's not a puppy anymore, but honestly, if I left these out within his reach, I think he'd probably still chew them. So I'm going to be very careful about keeping them higher up. The first thing I did with these headphones is head into the music room in my house and work on some music. Now, as you know, I make all the music that's in the background of these videos. All of these songs I've just been making in the past few years in that little room over there. And I love that by doing these videos on YouTube, I can use these songs. And now they're part of a more multi-dimensional, complex story. And I love that. I've received some really sweet comments and requests asking me to have this music put together in a collection or available on some streaming platform, and I would like to do this. But that means going into all of these files and cleaning them up a little bit so I can have the songs professionally mixed and mastered, which is the plan. But it does require some work from me, which I'm happy to do. In fact, there's one song that I particularly liked called Desert. I always thought I'd love to have it professionally mixed and mastered, but when I went to look for the original files that made up this song, they were all gone. I went through this phase a little while ago where I decided to clean up my computer. So I had an external hard drive and I kept moving all of these files onto it, but not the files for that one song. Of course, that one song I didn't move over. So that means if I want to include this song in this collection of songs that I'd like to put out, I'd have to recreate it from scratch, which I'm finding isn't so hard to do, so I don't mind this challenge. It's actually been rewarding and kind of fun. The brand Sennheiser, I've always had an affiliation with because it reminds me of my father. My dad, when I was growing up, had audio equipment and used to record my sister and myself playing music. He'd also record local concerts and different events, and he was a true audio geek. He loved his gear. And back then, it all went over my head. But I do remember Sennheiser as being one of his favorite makes of audio gear. So I thought I wanted some Sennheiser because of him. My dad passed over 20 years ago, and I didn't really get into audio equipment and really recording at all until after he passed. And that's a shame. It would be really nice to talk to him because he had such expertise. But nonetheless, thanks, Dad. He inadvertently taught me a lot about audio and recording without even intending to do so. So shortly before dinner, Brennan surprised me again with a princess cake. I guess it's not really a surprise. In fact, in the last video, I told you he was going to get me a princess cake. And this one was spectacular. And just to fill you in, if you're not familiar with the concept of a princess cake, it's a Swedish dessert, and it's sponge cake with layers of raspberry jam and sweet whipped cream, all covered in a layer of marzipan that's usually pink or green. This one was shaped a little bit more like a log, and it had flowers on it. I thought the flowers were actually made of frosting or something, and started cutting into it, and Brennan's like, Steve, those are actual flowers. I think they were snapdragons. The fact that they had some powdered sugar over the petals confused me a little bit. Still, a really beautiful touch. This was maybe one of the most delicious cakes I've ever had in my life. I was able to spend the last part of my birthday with some people I truly love, including my friend Yvetra. I've known her for so many years, and it's always a special occasion to spend time with her. She so kindly gave me this bottle of wine from Margaux in Bordeaux. She knows that I love Bordeaux wines, and this I've never had before, so I'm very excited to think of a meal that I can prepare to go perfectly with this wine. And it turns out it's not the only bottle of wine for Bordeaux that I received for my birthday. This one was from my beautiful friends Rob and Josh in the UK. And this is from Chateau Grand Puy-Lacoste from the Pauillac region of Bordeaux. So do you remember when I was talking about Bordeaux wines last week, and I was saying that my favorite ones have this very particular scent and taste of wilted jasmine? And that's not an official wine term. I completely made that up, and it's not based in anything except my opinion. But the first wine that ever woke me up to how incredible wine can be was a bottle of 1997 Lacoste Bourry. Lacoste Bourry turns out to be the second wine, or the more affordable wine, from this chateau, Grand Puy-Lacoste. So since then, whenever I've had bottles of Le Cosbory or Grand Puy Lacoste, I look for that jasmine, and it's almost always there. This is one of my favorite producers of wine in the world. Now, even though Le Cosbory is supposed to be the more affordable line from these makers, it's impossible to find. I never see it. I don't know if they still even make wines under the name Le Cosbory, but every now and then I will see something from Grand Puy Lacoste, and now I have one thanks to Rob and Josh for my birthday. This is very special, and I'm going to have to think of a special occasion to open this. And speaking of special occasions, I got this incense for myself. This is from the oldest incense maker in Japan, and they're called Kyongyo-kudo, based in Kyoto. My friend David recently went to Kyoto and discovered this incense and told me about it, so I was intrigued. And then I found this on their website. It turns out you can only get their incense directly through them from America. And I ordered this one. This is their kyara. Kyara is a very high-grade agar wood, or aloes wood. And usually these premium incenses in Japan come in a wooden box. It's called kiri wood, or in English it's paulownia wood. But to be honest, paulownia as a word is as foreign to me as kiri, so I'll just call it kiri wood. And these are just pure sticks of agar wood. So incredible. And because they are on the pricey side, I only light kyara on very special occasions or on a very special meditation. I did light one on my birthday and the following day. This morning, Brendan and I had the idea of going to the Hollywood Farmers Market. See, yesterday I was driving to work and I was listening to Good Food on KCRW, and they did the market report. And they said cherries are in season right now. In fact, they had a chef being interviewed on the radio, and he was talking about preparing a pork dish and cooking it with cherries. And I thought, I want to do that. In fact, I often make pork chops and I cook them with sliced apples and end up making a sauce with vermouth and a little bit of garlic and creme fraiche. But I thought, how nice would it be to throw in some cherries as well? So we went out to the farmer's market and of course didn't see cherries anywhere. We did visit the Harry's Berries stall. Now, I'm pretty sure these are the best strawberries you'll find in the United States. They are absolutely incredible. They're so full of strawberry flavor that when you compare them to all other strawberries, you realize that others are basically tasteless. They explode with sweetness and flavor. They're incredible. So I got some of those. I got these small potatoes of 2 different colors because I thought when I cook them and mix them together, they'll look amazing on a dish. And of course, some sugar snap peas. Next to the Hollywood Farmers Market is this incredible record store, and I love coming in here. Record stores have such a distinctive smell. The only thing that's missing in here is cigarette smoke. What's not missing is this Sisters of Mercy record. And I remembered that there's one particular seller at the Hollywood Farmers Market that specializes in citrus fruit, and they usually have bergamots for sale. Until I discovered this stall, I'd never seen a real bergamot in real life. And of course, bergamot is a note that's in all perfumes. It's just a really beautiful citrus note. And when I bought a bergamot for the first time and sliced into it, I recognized that scent immediately as being the scent of Earl Grey tea. It's so beautiful. And what I also found is a slice of bergamot in a gin and tonic is spectacular. So I thought tonight I would make a special drink by slicing up some bergamot, muddling up some Harry's berries, and pouring Hendrick's gin and tonic over all of this. Can you think of a drink that would be better in late May? So this is all in the plan for tonight. And I will certainly be listening to this music by thought leadership. Someone watching these videos recommended this band to me via Instagram, thinking I would like it. And guess what? I love it. It's very inspired by the band Durutti Column, a Mancunian band that had this really beautiful jangly guitar ethereal sound. I'm a huge fan, and now apparently I'm a big fan of thought leadership. Thank you for these tips. Thank you for your kindness and your stories. You're incredibly generous to share them with me. I'll see you next time.